I took a bath. That's all I did.
Lego Spider-Man. You all know him, you've bought the Lego sets, you've played the games, perhaps you called him in one of the Lego animated series, or heck, maybe you even saw him in Across the Spider-Verse. But did you realize this is all one Spider-Man? The Spider-Man here, fighting alongside Hulk and Iron Man in Lego Marvel superheroes, happens to be the very same Spider-Man who called Miguel to report an anomaly in Across the Spider-Verse. Mind-blowing stuff right here. Seriously. Who would have ever suspected this would all be one continuous universe? This Spider-Man has a plethora of adaptations. He was in 2 Lego games, he's a part of the Lego Avengers animation, he makes cameos in 2 other Avengers animations, he has his own animation where he fights Green Goblin and Venom, and then he appears in Across the Spider-Verse. My name is Spider-Dunk, and my goal for this video is to tell you the complete story of Lego Spider-Man, and how Marvel completely ruined his characterization as the timeline continued. Lego Spider-Man is one of the best Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse.
Thank you, Peter. You're one of our best.
However, at the same time, he is a perfect example to showcase everything wrong with the way Marvel currently writes and treats Spider-Man. Although this is one continuous story featuring one Spider-Man, his personality changes completely by the end of the timeline. I don't even think Lego Spider-Man from the first game would even recognize himself in his newer adaptations. Seriously, how is this the same character?
Avenger guys are really great at making a mess.
Iron Man borrowing an invention that I made? So cool!
We're going to go over everything Lego Spider-Man in Universe 13122. All of it is going to be covered in this video. By the end of this video, everyone watching will be a Lego Spider-Man aficionado. So sit tight and listen up, because I'm about to tell you all the complete story of Lego Spider-Man and just how Marvel ruined him over the years. Lego Spider-Man's story starts in the very first Lego Marvel video game. The game starts off and you're playing as Iron Man and Hulk, but shortly into the level, Spider-Man joins into the fray. The heroes have to take down Sandman, and what better hero to show them how to do so than Spider-Man himself?
So much for taking the subway down to the Bugle. Guess I'll just have to fight my way through it.
When he shows up, boy, does he make a scene. He swings onto the scene, and he's telling Iron Man and Hulk what to do. And all of it works too. They take down Sandman and you complete the first level. At the end of the level too, you get a cutscene of the heroes asking Spider-Man to help them. But he's just like, nah, I'm good. I've got my own problems to worry about.
Like I have time for that. I've got a trigonometry exam tomorrow. My aunt needs me to pick up a dozen eggs, and I'm drowning in angst.
Spider-Man is a busy person too, so he wasn't lying. It's wild to see Spider-Man at this point in this universe be so, well, Spider-Man. This is very akin to the comics version of Spider-Man and how he used to be portrayed. Back in the day, he was not fond of team-ups, he wasn't shy of telling other heroes what to do, and back in the day, the man was a winner. He would win constantly. We are definitely going to come back to this later in the video, so please keep a mental tab on this. The game continues, and the very next level features Captain America and Mr. Fantastic, but shortly into this level, yet again, Spider-Man joins the fray, and you team up with these 2 heroes to take down Doc Ock. Spider-Man again joins up with the heroes, and what better person to show them how to beat Doc Ock than Spider-Man himself? The 3 heroes chase Doc Ock to Times Square, and along the way, you get a Superior Spider-Man reference too. I love that. All the little references in these games are just so great. When you get to Times Square, you do fight Doc Ock, and you manage to take him down. Sadly though, the Cosmic Construct falls into the Green Goblin's hands, and he flies to Oscorp. The heroes then question why Green Goblin would go there of all places, and that tells us something very interesting in this story too. Norman Osborn's secret of Green Goblin, still intact. Nobody actually knows that this Norman Osborn is the Green Goblin. Even Spider-Man doesn't know this Green Goblin's true identity. Again, going back to how accurately Spider-Man was portrayed, you even get him saying the great power comes great responsibility line here in the very first game. Just, they really were doing the accurate thing in the very first adaptation of Spider-Man.
Then let's try to figure that out. We've got to. Because with great power comes great responsibility.
You start the next mission breaking into Oscorp using espionage as Hawkeye and Black Widow, and you'll never guess who shows up yet again. If you guessed Spider-Man, you would be correct, because for 3 levels in a row, the first 3 levels, Spider-Man joins in and he's playable in all of them. You're in Oscorp and you're trying to get to the Green Goblin, but he pulls a fast one and he sends you down to the lower level where you fight Venom as a boss. What better person to help take down Green Goblin and Venom than Spider-Man? I feel like I might have said that already. Stan Lee even makes an appearance as our 3 heroes get duped by Green Goblin and end up in his underlair. This Venom part actually legit gave me a jump scare when I was a kid. I'm not gonna lie, I still remember it to this day. It definitely scared me. I was a kid, don't laugh at me. After you beat Venom, the mission ends and Spider-Man again has to let everyone know that he's too busy to play by their rules or to join their team just yet.
Legolas! Ha! Can you and the other Avengers track him down? I gotta do dishes, homework, explain to my girlfriend why I am always leaving her waiting at coffee places. I mean, my life is really hard.
Right off the rip, this is such a great start. You get Spider-Man 3 times in the first 3 levels, and he's helping save the day with Earth's mightiest heroes, plus Mr. Fantastic. This Spider-Man is just so good at his job, he's so funny, and he's so sassy. It's impeccable. Spider-Man is later dropped off by Nick Fury to help Thor and Iron Man infiltrate a submarine, and things just go awry. They end up getting knocked down, and Magneto uses the Statue of Liberty to pick up the submarine and toss it like a football. As they try to come back as a team on the plane, you get Spider-Man in more goofy shenanigans, like he's taking a bath on the plane in full costume. God, I love this goofball so much.
Hey guys, hope you don't mind. No hot water at the apartment.
After this, you then play as Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Thor as you fight Magneto, and then you take on Doctor Doom. This is where it's revealed that the whole time, Loki was playing Doom and he secretly wanted Galactus to come to Earth to destroy it. The Lego heroes we've been playing as the entire time have to then team up with the villains we've been fighting the entire time to stop the entirety of Earth's destruction. They first obviously have a scuffle for a little bit. I mean, they're good guys and bad guys. They gotta do what they gotta do. But for the greater good of the Lego Marvel Earth, the squad does manage to team up both good and evil, and they create a plan to stop Galactus. They literally make a cake of Earth, and Galactus goes to eat it. Out jumps Hulk, who has Thor in hand, and he smashes Galactus back through a portal, and it then closes. Wow, what a game. Such a fire ending. If you've never played this game before, you gotta try it, everybody. It's so phenomenal. But let's back to Spider-Man, okay? Let's talk back on Spider-Man in this universe. After you beat the game, there's a few bonus missions that actually feature some of Spider-Man's villains, too. Shocker's here, Electro's here, Lizard's too, Vulture's here. There are actually other Spider-Man villains, too, who didn't even appear in the story, who do appear in the bonus missions, but we're really just trying to focus on Spider-Man's story here because I want to explain to you guys exactly how his story goes and how he was changed during it, okay? So for the first game, I truly can't say enough great things. Spider-Man was in the game so much. His first appearance in this universe is just incredible. He's exactly how I want him to be. The voice actor, pretty godlike, James Arnold Taylor, very accomplished in the field as well. This Spider-Man is just so great. To break it down in simpler points so we can keep track of what I'm saying as we go along, Lego Spider-Man in the first game in his first universe appearance is really classic Spider-Man. He's very brash. When superheroes invite him to join up with them, he's very willing to tell them no. He has to keep his neighborhood safe. He's got school to worry about, Aunt May to worry about. He's very much got his own thing going on in his own life. So he's not a fanboy for other superheroes either. This is all stuff you will see in more classic versions of the character. He more so resembles the Spider-Man who didn't want to be around heroes and didn't like being on teams. He just would pitch in if he was really needed for the super big stuff. Outside of teaming up with Fantastic Four, Spider-Man was really not a big fan of teams though. That is Lego Spider-Man in his very first appearance in the universe. But mark my words, as we continue this video, you will notice he will not stay this way for the rest of the universe. No. Now, Spider-Man also appears in the Lego animation you could find for free on YouTube. There's a few of these videos on YouTube, like 6 or 7 of them, but Spider-Man's really only in one and he makes a cameo in 2 of them. But we're going to talk about the one he actually is in first. That is called Lego Marvel Superheroes Overload. This is a loose adaptation of the very first Avengers movie. And I say loose because this adaptation features Spider-Man quite a bit, and Spider-Man is not in the first Avengers movie. The adaptation starts out and Spider-Man is fighting Doc Ock. That's when Loki gets involved. He uses a Norn Stone to supercharge Doc Ock and make him go crazy. For literally no reason either. I get he wants to cause mischief on Earth, but he's also a Thor villain who has a vendetta with many Avengers members. But instead he's just like, man, I'm gonna go mess with Spider-Man. And he uses his genius to stop the rampaging Dr. Ock. Next, Spider-Man is back in New York City, and we get to see J. Jonah Jameson, who's played by J.K. Simmons, and even freaking Stan Lee's in this animation as a hot dog vendor. Godlike. Spider-Man is doing this thing, patrolling the city, and then boom, Venom gets hit with a Norn Stone amplification, and Spider-Man again has to take down a supercharged version of his own villain. Spider-Man and Venom battle through the Bugle, and there's actually some pretty funny banter, I won't lie. Stan Lee even gets involved in the middle of the fight at one point. But Spider-Man again uses his big brain, and he manages to put Venom in a newspaper presser to win the day. Loki then begins bothering all the rest of the superheroes on Earth, and that's when Thor notices Loki's behind the whole thing. Thor assembles a team of Iron Man, Spider-Man, and himself to go take down Loki, and that's exactly what they do. They body Loki. Loki's about to get punished and grounded, and they even give Spider-Man a spider cycle for his efforts. Now, this animated project came out a whopping month after the first game released. And with that, you'll notice Spider-Man is still very much the guy. The story is essentially Avengers 1, yet Spider-Man is pretty much exclusively the first episode and second episode. And he's not even in the first movie. Also, when the climax happens in Avengers Overload, Loki is confronted by the heroes Iron Man, Thor, and Spider-Man. And you can tell this is the exact same Spider-Man because the game Spider-Man talks about how he's so filled with angst.
Up a dozen eggs, and I'm drowning in angst.
And then in the animated project, when Thor is calling for Iron Man and Spider-Man to come over so they can attack Loki, Thor says this:
Iron Man, angsty one!
So this is clearly the same Spider-Man, obviously. We also know because of universal numbering. This is 13122 still. This Spider-Man is given the limelight. A lot of times when Marvel doesn't have the full rights to a character, they try not to use them as much, but that was not the case here. Marvel still recognizes that Spider-Man was the guy at this point. Whether they had all of his rights or not, they knew he was the guy. Marvel wasn't worried about any synergy with their cinematic universe Spider-Man because, well, they didn't even have one at the time. They just used Spider-Man in the forefront because he's the face of Marvel. This version of the character was still very much based on classic Spider-Man from the comics 616, but after this appearance, Spider-Man would drastically change into a different character. His next appearance in the timeline is actually a very short-lived appearance. The Avengers are all fighting Ultron trying to take him down when Yellow Jacket is revealed to be working for Ultron. He fights Ant-Man and tries to run away, but he falls into Spider-Man's web. We actually see Spider-Man and Iron Spider here. Not really sure who Iron Spider is, but the internet is saying Amadeus Cho, so we'll roll with it. They get Yellow Jacket to reveal Ultron's plan, and then they relay it to Iron Man and the Avengers. Ultron's plan was to use the Avengers codes to take over the new Iron Legion Iron Man created. The Avengers race off, and Spider-Man's just like, hey, you forgot about me. Which is funny, but it definitely shows us that Marvel actively was trying to move away from having Spider-Man as the face of Marvel due to not having his movie rights. There's no other reason for this, right? When you see in the first game, they don't have his movie rights. He's still front and center. In the first animation, they don't have his movie rights. He's still front and center. Now that they're starting to work towards getting their movie rights, they're starting to understand what's going on. They're removing X-Men. They're removing Fantastic Four. And they're slightly trying to take Spider-Man out of the picture the best they can as well. But the next adaptation we're going to talk about is LEGO Marvel 2, the second video game. This game features Spider-Man a solid amount, actually. You get to play as Peter Parker Spider-Man in the main storyline. Heck, the second mission of the game features him teaming up with Miss Marvel and White Tiger to stop a lot of classic Spider-Man villains from running free after they broke out of the raft. Let's do a basis overview of the story before I continue with Spider-Man's story specifically, okay? Kang essentially is taking different multiversal heroes and putting them into his city called Chronopolis. So the game is a multiverse story. Literally right as you beat Doc Ock and the level ends, New York City is transported to Chronopolis and Spider-Man falls off of the Brooklyn Bridge. And before he hits the ground, Spider-Gwen actually catches him. So this game is very much a multiverse game that features plenty of different Spider-Verse spiders in the game's mainline story. Right after you're saved by Gwen, you actually team up with her to stop the Goblin from 2099 from terrorizing New York City before you regroup with the rest of the Avengers. The game then has Spider-Man go to Wakanda teaming up with Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, where you end up meeting Black Panther as well. As Spider-Man, you're tracking down Claw through Wakanda, but he manages to escape. The team regroups because you never managed to catch Claw. The next time you do play as Spider-Man, though, you're teaming up with She-Hulk and Doctor Strange trying to get the Book of Ashanti. You find out Mortal actually took it and Dormammu is looming. Spider-Man is just adding to the list of superpower villains he's taken down. God damn, now you get to add Mortal and Dormammu is crazy. This really might just be one of the best Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse. Miguel was right. Following the defeat of Mordo, though, Spider-Man then actually teams up with the Defenders to help take down Hammerhead and Kingpin. You're really just trying to get Iron Fist to help you do something, but Iron Fist is like, I'm not helping you until you help me. A real, you scratch my back, I scratch yours type of situation. In this mission, you have 3 different Spider-Man to choose from between Peter Parker Spider-Man, Spider-Man Noir, and Ghost Spider. Daredevil and Iron Fist are also present. This is by far my favorite level because it's just so Spider-Man. The gangs, the Spider people. Daredevil is even here, who's like one of my favorite people Spider-Man teams up with. The mission is peak Spider-Man content. I mean, you're fighting Kingpin and Hammerhead as well. This is all Spider-Man. After you beat the mission, Iron Fist does agree to go with you to help open the door, but that's when Iron Fist opens it up and it's a trap. You gotta fight Steel Serpent as Spider-Man, Miss Marvel, and Iron Fist. And this guy is a freaking dragon. But you do manage to dispatch of him pretty easily. At least, I did. Following this mission, you have another mission featuring 3 Spider-Men. This time, Peter Parker Spider-Man, Spider-Man 29, and Ghost Spider. You're with Miguel. You're breaking into Alchemax to stop Goblin 29. And that's when you find Venom and Carnage have bonded together to form this giant behemoth you gotta fight. Venage. Maybe it's Cornum. Huh. You beat these old goobers, and you're pretty much at the penultimate mission of the game. Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Star-Lord fly up to Damocles to fight Kang. But Kang planned for all of this to happen, and you have to fight this big boy, Korvac. He is literally one with the power cosmic, so he's unbelievably strong. But somehow, you do beat him, and that's the rest of Spider-Man's involvement in the story. The game features other Spider-Man characters, and there's a lot of them. But that's all the actual characters involved with the story. Venom and Carnage become separated in an extra mission, and you'll find like Miles Morales as well in the extra missions, but these guys don't actually appear as themselves in the actual story. In my opinion, the story does a solid job at characterizing Spider-Man. He's not exactly the same standoffish, angst-ridden superhero from before. He's a bit more mellow, friendly, and calm.
Well, hey!
I think we've all spent too long here.
Well, how do you think I feel? Come on, guys! Live a little!
As the timeline goes on, you could actually clearly see that Spider-Man from the original game to now is slowly changing to be like the MCU's version of Spider-Man. But luckily in this game, it's not just like screaming in your face, I'm MCU Spider-Man, hey, it's me. Spider-Man at no point in this game is calling Iron Man Mr. Stark, which I'm grateful of. But at the same time, Spider-Man definitely isn't really the same full of himself guy he was in the first game. In the original game, you're taking the fight to Doom. Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Thor all go together, no questions are asked. You're just going up there because you're a superhero and this is your job. Spider-Man is even roasting Loki and Doctor Doom. He's making jokes of the situation.
And looky, Loki and his pal have a big bad mega weapon.
Then in Avengers Overload, when Thor is about to fight Loki, Thor tells Iron Man and the angsty one to join him, and both do without hesitation. Yet again, they all know they're supposed to be there to protect Earth. There's no really second guessing about it. But in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, Iron Man, Star-Lord, and Spider-Man all team up together to stop Kang and bring down Damocles. But while they're there, Spider-Man says to Iron Man, "Are you sure I should be here?" and suggests that maybe Hulk should be here instead.
Tony, bet you wish you had Thor or Hulk along for the ride.
Hey, the last thing I need is a raging Hulk. Right now, I need your spider senses. And
This, to me, is a clear different direction for Spider-Man. The first 2 examples, he's down for the challenge, right? He's got to fight Loki, he's got to fight Doctor Doom, and he's got to fight Loki again. At no point is he ever scared or worried that he's not the right person for the job. But in this game, he's fighting Kang, and he's like, maybe I shouldn't be up there. Maybe you might want someone stronger than me. And it's also odd because it's almost like he's making it seem like he doesn't see himself as a leader. He's like, Iron Man, you're the leader, the de facto leader. What do you think of this? When in fact, Spider-Man usually just does whatever the hell he wants because he knows what he's doing is right in his own mind. Now, I'm not saying that Spider-Man is always certain what he's doing is the best thing to do, but if he's having inner turmoil, it's usually inside him. It's like an inner monologue. He's not outwardly speaking looking for validation from Iron Man or other superheroes. He didn't really seek validation from any superheroes at all, let alone Iron Man, who in this very universe, he told off in the very first game.
Whoa! Thanks for swinging by, Spider-Man.
You Avenger guys are really great at making a mess.
It's not brutal, but it's very clear that this Spider-Man's direction is different. On top of that, this game features many different Spider-Man variants as a part of the mainline story. This may not line up specifically with the MCU Spidey, but is in line with the current age comic Spider-Man in comparison to classic Spider-Man. Peter Parker Spider-Man had well over 1,000 comics before any Spider-Man variants ever showed up. But nowadays, Marvel's pushing heavy for Spider-Man to be a family, like Batman in the Bat Family. Spider-Verse exploded in popularity, so Marvel sees that and wants to add all their Spider-Man heroes together as much as possible. In this game's main story alone, you have Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man 2099, and Spider-Man Noir. I actually thoroughly enjoy at least 2 of these Spiders, but it's shocking to me that they included them in this game at all. Marvel didn't have Spider-Man's movie rights. At the same time, when X-Men and Fantastic Four were cut from the game completely due to Marvel not having their movie rights, Spider-Man was still shown prominently in the story mode. Thank God. But the devs even added 3 other spiders to the story. The multiversal aspect of the game doesn't even feel necessarily a part of the spiders' inclusion. Realistically, you can tell these stories within one universe and have all of the cities like Wakanda and Manhattan closer to each other via a wormhole or something else. Especially Spider-Gwen. They don't even have Spider-Gwen's universe here. At least they have Spider-Man 29 and a Spider-Man Noir universe. Why is she even here? I don't even understand that. My main point is that this game doesn't even focus on the multiversal stuff really at all. It's only done just to put in more spider characters. This makes it seem like this part of the story was literally only done so they can put in more spiders, hoping people wouldn't notice the lack of X-Men and Fantastic Four members. Obviously, this is speculation as to why they had this game become a multiversal story, adding so many spiders. But I truly can't come up with any other reason as to why they'd make it a multiverse story, yet only really add characters or multiversal relations with Spider-Man. Like, sure, they have, like, a Western Captain America, but, like, that's really, like, a mission and nobody really cares. Like, I'm sorry, like, they really focus on the Spider-Man aspect with multiversal stuff. You have a Goblin 2099, you have Electro 2099, you have all the spiders from different multiverses, not even including all the other spiders in-game who aren't a part of the story mode. It's just wild. I personally love having more spiders around, okay? I'm not trying to hate on the fact that this game has other spiders, but I like it when it makes sense with the story. This feels so shoehorned into me, and it really takes away from the spotlight from the main Spider-Man. They're diluting his appearance in this game by having so many other Spider-Mans just for the sake of having them here. I don't mean to hate on this game either. I actually really much enjoy this game. I loved it when it wasn't glitching out on me constantly. But in terms of what the game does with Spider-Man specifically, it definitely only continued the process of turning Spider-Man from his classic self into a more modern-day wet noodle we see so often. The universe story continues, and another animated LEGO Marvel movie came out called LEGO Marvel Avengers Climate Conundrum. Spider-Man is really not in this film very much at all outside of a quick cameo. But this cameo could be the most indicting thing on Spider-Man in the entire LEGO universe. Iron Man needs to borrow some tech from Spider-Man on the fly, so he calls in some assistance from the Webhead. Spider-Man is in the middle of a fight with Dr. Octopus, but he still answers the call and sends Iron Man a jet while he finishes his fight with Doc Ock. This appearance is no joke, like 2 minutes, and it's easily the most brutal part of the timeline. In the short time he spends in this scene talking to Iron Man, he's supposed to be the same character from Game 1, right? But in this animated clip, Spider-Man just has such a different personality. He answers the phone, Mr. Stark, and he calls him Mr. Stark several times.
Hi, Mr. Stark!
Spider jet? With the, what were you calling it? Spider sonar?
Oh, yeah. You said the paint job was the, ugliest thing you'd ever seen.
Yeah, sorry about that. Any chance I can borrow it?
It'd be an honor, Mr. Stark.
Then after he hangs up the call, he says something along the lines of, I can't believe I get to help a real superhero.
Imagine that! Iron Man borrowing an invention that I made! So cool!
Who is this, Beautiful Joe? No, this is Spider-Man, quite possibly the best superhero of all time. I've already said Spider-Man doesn't seek validation from other heroes for the most part, especially not Iron Man. He definitely doesn't from Iron Man, except in the MCU. This is easily and by far and away the most glaring example for MCU synergy in the LEGO universe. Spider-Man from the first game who talked to Iron Man like this
Avenger guys are really great at making a mess.
is now glazing Iron Man like this.
Iron Man borrowing an invention that I made! So cool!
The MCU agenda got their hands on my boy, man, because Spider-Man from the earlier games would not have said this or spoken like this. There's still 2 more stories left in the universe, and the next one is called Vexed by Venom. This animation is all about Spider-Man. Unlike the last few that were Marvel superhero animations, it's Spider-Man versus Green Goblin and Venom. Obviously, it's Vexed by Venom. This story starts off with Spider-Man taking on both Green Goblin and Venom while on his 6 spider motorbike. Y'all remember where he got that from, right? The bad guys have teamed up to destroy Spider-Man. Spider-Man fights them and he chases them back to Green Goblin's lair. In Green Goblin's lair, they have a bit of a scuffle, but Venom manages to escape. Spider-Man takes down the Green Goblin, and he decides, I might as well reclaim this lair for myself, and he calls it the Spider Lair. We then see Peter Parker in class with both Mary Jane and Gwen, but Peter's so focused on the Spider Lair, he's not even paying attention really to anything. Spider-Man uses Green Goblin's supercomputer to track down Venom, and Spider-Man in his new spider car fight Venom, who hulks out into a big boy Venom, which is from the Lego games. So sick that they include this here. The two battle and Venom manages to escape again because Spider-Man has to save civilians. Guess who shows up though out of the blue, out of nowhere? Spider-Gwen. She just shows up. I guess she's not from a different multiverse. Maybe she's just from Spider-Man's universe actually the whole time. They have a very awkward conversation and then swing off. Spider-Man realizes Venom wants to take over Roxxon's energy platform to destroy the city. Spider-Man meets Venom at the energy platform in this freaking sick Spider-Mech. It's peak. This is peak. You got a hulked out Venom versus Spider-Mech. Oh my god, this is fire. And then Venom finds his own mech. This has got a full-blown mech battle between Spider-Man and Venom. This is sick. Spider-Man is actually getting beat down and he calls in Ghost Spider for some assistance. Venom's about to kill Spider-Man when Ghost Spider does show up on her hoverboard. She distracts Venom long enough for Spider-Man to shut down the energy platform and save the city. Now that story, I can't lie, it's actually super fun. I really enjoyed this story. Spider-Man in his own animation, he's hilarious the whole time. He's got great banter. They make great nods to the Lego sets over the years. Spider-Man vs. Venom and Green Goblin is a banger hero versus villain set for an animation. Like, all of it's great. The only glaring issue that you can really find in the animation is the fact that Ghost Spider is here. If this universe's Spider-Man is in high school with Gwen and MJ, sure, that's fine. It's an alternate universe. Things happen. Things are different. I'm cool with it. But this Ghost Spider's inclusion makes no sense at all. Ghost Spider we've already seen. We thought we was established from another universe. So we're led to believe this because of the fact that Ghost Spider only shows up in Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, which is in, Chronopolis, this multiversal game. But apparently Ghost Spider exists within the universe with Spider-Man already. The weird thing is, though, that Peter has never met her before, but she knows who Venom is. It's just odd all around, honestly. It doesn't really make too much sense. What's also really weird is Miles Morales' Spider-Man could have fit perfectly into this story without having to, confuse people with the canon on if this Ghost Spider is from a different universe, or maybe this is Peter Parker Spider-Man from this universe's 13122's Gwen Stacy who becomes Ghost Spider. It's just very weird. And Miles Morales actually technically hasn't shown up in any story at any point. He's only in the bonus missions. So it would have been great to have him show up here because it would have just fit so nicely. But nah, they went with Ghost Spider to make the storyline way more confusing. All in all, I think Vexed by Venom is a great animation. Spider-Man isn't really his classic self, but he's funny. He's got his most notable adversaries here too. It's a really good animation. It's just Ghost Spider's inclusion here. It puzzles me. And then the last time Lego Spider-Man makes an appearance at all in anything is in Across the Spider-Verse when Spot pops into his dimension. Peter is working at the bugle and Jameson is chirping at him, but Peter is rushing to the bathroom to tell Spider-Man 2099 about the anomaly that just occurred when Spot pushed his head through the daily freaking bugle. Miguel says Lego Spider-Man is one of the best spiders in the Spider Society and hangs up the phone.
Beep, beep. Miguel, it's Peter. We got an anomaly.
Thank you, Peter. You're one of our best. Jess, who's on this?
Beep, beep.
Honestly, this is so true, right? You see Across the Spider-Verse and you're just like, oh, that's really cute that Miguel is hyping up the Lego Spider-Man. But now after this video, after we've talked about this quite a bit, he really might be one of the best spiders in the Spider-Verse. Gosh, we're gonna go over it in a second, but he's taking down some very powerful people. Oh my god, he's so strong. I loved his inclusion in this movie. It's just so good. I just love how much praise they give him for some reason. I just think it's so cool. We also don't see any of the other MCU modernization stuff for Spider-Man in this short. Just Jameson in his classic usual Jameson fiery self yelling at Peter Parker to get back to work. Heck, when they even do their first close-up on Peter, they even denote the universal numbering on the screen. So we all know for sure, for a fact, that this is 13122. All the same storyline. This is it. From Lego Marvel Superheroes all the way to Across the Spider-Verse, that is every single appearance that Lego Spider-Man has ever made. That's his full story of events, everybody. And boy, he's been through a lot. He could be one of, if not my favorite overall Spider-Man in the entire Spider-Verse. He has so much aura. He's also taken down so many supervillains. Like Miguel said, he's one of the best spiders in the Spider-Verse for a reason. He's taken down his classic rogues like Shocker multiple times, Vulture, Mysterio, Kraven, Carnage, Kingpin, Hammerhead, and then he took on his big three bad guys, Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Venom, 3 times each and beat them all. He also has taken down other notorious supervillains in the universe like Loki, Doctor Doom. He helped take down Claw, Magneto, Mordo, Dormammu, Kang, freaking Galactus, and he helped take down Ultron as well. This is a crazy amount of supervillains for Spider-Man to have underneath his belt for supervillains he's beaten. This list alone shows just how great he is and how much respect he deserves. When any of these adaptations chose to show how strong he was, they never failed. The problem was the characterization. That's something else entirely. You can see for yourself how much he's changed over the years. The character went from this,
You know, I could fit you with a rocket-propelled iron suit if you like.
Sounds heavy.
to this.
Iron Man borrowing an invention that I made. So cool.
He went from being the only Spider rep to having Ghost Spider in his own canon. It's honestly all very interesting to me. To go over just how different he becomes within the universe, 13122 is the one universe we get Lego Spider-Man in. Yet from the first game to the last animation, there's moments that surely will make people looking on and be like, is this a scroll? This isn't Spider-Man. This has got to be a scroll, right? Because I can't really explain the complete 180 this character personality does within the universe. We don't know for sure, but it looks like Lego Spider-Man will probably be in Beyond the Spider-Verse. I hope he gets another great adaptation. They did a great job with him in Across the Spider-Verse, so my fingers are crossed. That's pretty much everything I got for you guys all today on Lego Spider-Man. I really hope you enjoyed. I worked so hard. I replayed all the video games and watched all these animations. I was taking notes on notes on notes. I really wanted to present to you all a real thorough analyzation of Lego Spider-Man's history and how his character was shown throughout the entire timeline. I hope you liked it. If enough people want it, I'll actually do a breakdown on every single Spider-Man character that ever shows up in the entire Lego universe. I think that could be fun. Let me know what you think. It would probably take me a while, but it would be super fun. I would love to do it. Let me know down below. But that's pretty much all I got. If you guys want to talk to me more, I have a Discord you guys can check out. I also have a Patreon. If you have the means to support me, please do so. But I don't really have anything else for you guys today. I'm just really grateful you guys watched this video. Shout outs to Lego Spider-Man. He freaking rocks. Dunk out. Peace.